Good morning, everybody, and a happy Thursday morning to you. As usual, we have the royal news first, then we're jumping into the Harry-Meghan stuff, and I've got some of your comments in here on one of the stories I recently covered. You guys have been quite vocal, so let's jump in and cover it all, shall we? Let's go. We're going to start off with Queen Camilla. She officially unveiled a very historic statue of Aphra Behn in Canterbury. Now, this is marking a momentous occasion in the recognition of a full-time professional woman writer in the English language. So, of course, Camilla arrived. She was immediately taken down the line to meet all of the dignitaries and everybody that was there. After she met all of those dignitaries and she started to walk down towards the statue for the unveiling, there was a gentleman, I want to call this coat color purple, the guy standing there to her left, who said, "Come on over here and meet these people because these are the benefactors that made this possible." And with that, Camilla walked over to a group of people. I'm assuming that they were part of the Canterbury Commemoration Society, and they had a big hand in getting this statue up and in place. So, of course, Camilla went over to say hello to them. She spoke with them, very personable. The statue was given to Canterbury City Council by the Canterbury Commemoration Society, and Professor Elaine Hobby of one of the universities and honorary vice president of the society also played a pivotal role in this initiation from its inception. So she grabbed one side of the curtain, the other lady grabbed the other side, they pulled and they unveiled this absolutely gorgeous statue. I just think it's beautiful. After the statue was unveiled, here's a list of things that Queen Camilla did in no specific order. There was a reading of a Behn poem by the president of the Aphra Behn Society of Canterbury. There was an Aphra Behn workshop with Year 3 children from St. Peter's Primary School. There was a look around the library with a focus on community engagement, volunteering, its collection of literature from Ukraine, book club and reading well group. There was a look around the Beanie's Curious Stories exhibition and the different ways of experiencing it. There was a performance of an excerpt from the Royal Shakespearean Company production of Behn play The Rover. And there were readings of poems by local school children, the winners of the Canterbury Festival's Poet of the Year competition. Wow, that's a lot. She did a lot. Now, again, while the Queen was there, she was meeting a partially sighted museum group in the Beanie House of Art and Knowledge, which, by the way, is located in the center of Canterbury's bustling High Street. And she was playing with the dogs, and she was talking about her Jack Russell Terrier named Beth. We know she loved this dog more than anything. It went around to different events with her. She had adopted that dog in 2012 from the Battersea Dogs and Cats home. So it came out that she has now adopted another dog, another Jack Russell Terrier. That seems to be her dog of choice. And Battersea put out a statement that they recently rehomed the 8-week-old Jack Russell Terrier cross female puppy to Queen Camilla, who, by the way, is their patron. Pretty cool. The Queen has long been a supporter of Battersea's work and has previously rehomed 2 rescue dogs from the charity. Good for her. You know, I've already told you guys we won't get any more rescue animals. I don't want to be one of those people that leaves behind animals for somebody else to take care of if we should, you know what I'm saying. I just don't want to be one of those people. So we've just decided not to adopt any more animals. Anyway, at the end of all of this, she came out, she got some absolutely gorgeous flowers, and then it was time to go around, do a walkabout, and meet the crowds. And come down to meet the crowd she did. Nobody even seemed to care if it was raining or what the weather was like. People were lined up. They brought their pets. They brought their little kids. And everybody was really happy to see her. And it looked like this event went really, really well. And I'm happy for her. All right. We are going to move on now to our next royal person after we thank Remoulade Sauce for showing us everything the Queen was wearing. Let's go. On February 24th, the Princess Royal, who, by the way, is vice patron of the British Horse Society, went to visit the Stable Mates Plus in Wales. It's a program at Lower Stockland. Competition and Livery Center in Cardiff. Princess Anne watched some interactive sessions like health checks and fitting tacks and things, which is supposed to help deepen the bond between the horse and the rider. Next up, let's touch on Andrew. A book is about to come out by royal author Andrew Lowney. And in this book, it supposedly exposes fresh concerns about Andrew's finances and global dealings. It's called The Lives of the Duke and Duchess of York. And it delves into the embattled prince's lifestyle and basically questions how he funded all of his extravagant spending. The book also talks about his ties to alleged Chinese spy Yang Tenbo, and it says that he is still maintaining an active business presence and he's made trips to the Middle East and Switzerland. Next up, we have the Prince of Wales, Prince William. Because he is patron of the Football Association, he met with New England manager Thomas Tuchel, I think is how you say it, at Windsor Castle. And Football Association Chief Executive Mark Bullingham was also present. And finally, a few days ago, King Charles had an audience with David Tiba Kapu. He is now the Governor General of Solomon Islands, and this took place at Buckingham Palace. Now, moving on, I showed you guys the video where Meghan was watering the plants and she handed the water over to, it was probably Archie, and said something that we couldn't make out. And the kid goes, "Only if you want me to." Well, you guys had a lot of comments on that. To start with, this subscriber of mine said that when the child said, "only if you want to," he sounds defeated. This subscriber says that 5-year-olds rarely articulate a thought process that advanced. But they do parrot their parents, and maybe this child has heard Harry saying that to Meghan a lot. And that's an excellent point. My next subscriber said that this kid is scared to death. And finally, this subscriber said that when Archie says that, most kids in the situation would be eager to participate and they'd be jumping with excitement. He sounds like he's walking on tiptoes, trying not to poke the bear. Excellent observation. All right, let's move on. This next article I wanted to touch on, Jessica Mulroney. Remember, they used to be such good friends. She was such good friends with Meghan Markle for years and years, and it was Jessica who introduced her to a lot of people. Well, remember, Harry and Meghan spent a lot of time away from their kids again when they went to the Invictus Games in Canada. Well, apparently, Jessica Mulroney just shared a new post on Instagram about the importance of spending time with her children at home. So they're saying, well, it's unclear whether it was aimed at Meghan. I think it's pretty obvious it was aimed at Meghan. Can't really blame the girl. All right, let's move on. All right, I'm not sure why this man is giving interviews. We all remember James Hewitt. He was the former cavalry officer that had an affair with Princess Diana. And he goes on TV and says, yeah, Diana would be very concerned about the ongoing rift between William and Harry. And she would have done her best to try to get them together. Well, I got to tell you, he said Diana would have been able to make a reapproachment possible. That Harry would never have met Meghan. Harry would never have married Meghan had Diana still been alive. So it's not even a question of her fixing the rift. I don't believe if Meghan came on the scene that there ever would have been a rift. He had a 5-year-long relationship, by the way, with Diana. Moving on. All right, I wanted to touch on this article. What they're saying is that Meghan ditched Harry at the Invictus Games and their marriage is absolutely in trouble. Her rebrand is failing. Her Netflix deal is failing. And she has still a trademark infringement controversy that's still going on even after she changed the name, which left Harry, by the way, all alone at the closing games of Invictus. The point is, Meghan went back to California to try to do damage control on the big brand name change, and Harry's worst nightmare is to be left standing in a large crowd by himself making a speech like that, and her leaving him to deal with it on his own seemed quite careless. Her absence only fueled the ongoing rumors of troubles in their marriage, and they're saying Harry is way more dependent on Meghan than people think, and he's very clingy, and he needs to know she's on his side and standing by him. Then the whole divorce book situation, they're saying, put him into a complete spiral. Unbelievable. So as for Meghan, she's obsessively focused on this Netflix show, which I think we all know at this point is going to be a complete bomb. All right, I had to touch on this because Meghan now wants to go back to being a private person, because Meghan was an admirer of Diana before she ever met Harry. We all know that. And now she realizes she's never going to stack up to Diana. She's never going to be Diana 2.0. She's not going to be the people's princess. She will not be loved like Princess Catherine has been. She's been rejected in the UK. She's been rejected in the US. The royals are blaming her for turning Harry against them. So, here's Meghan trying to reshape her image so people will like her more. It goes out of her comfort zone, but everything she does backfires on her. And that is why the article is calling her the dopey Duchess, and I happen to completely agree with that. Let's talk really quickly now about that interview with Jason Kanoff. We know that Jason would never have spoken up had William not given the okay for that. And I'm beginning to wonder if he didn't give the okay for that because they're really worried about Harry's mental health. Meghan really seems to have brainwashed him. He seems to be having some serious issues. And, maybe they won't speak again. Maybe Harry will never go back to the family. But William is still wanting to make sure that Harry's not being mentally abused. I think he might be. Now, when talking about Jason Kanoff again, everybody's brought up the bullying dossier and why was it never released? Because they're saying the reason it wasn't was because at the time, King Charles and Queen Elizabeth were desperate to keep some kind of a peace between the Sussexes and the royals. The trouble is, the royals haven't learned that keeping messy personal lives secrets doesn't work, like Charles' affair with Camilla, Diana's affair with James Hewitt. They're what they call ticking time bombs, and eventually they explode. So the question everybody's asking is, why didn't Harry sue? Because he sued over his personal security, over allegations of being phone hacked. Why didn't he sue over the bullying allegations against Meghan? And it's come out because if he had, it would have come to court, and the women, who are now known as X and Y, would have given evidence. It would have damaged Meghan. There would have been face-to-face testimony with the women that were hounded out by her. But one good thing about Jason Kanoff, he remains, as the article said, the keeper of the most devastating secrets. He knows about Meghan's alleged bullying of these women when she was parading herself as a feminist, and he himself could turn out to be the ticking time bomb for self-appointed Saint Meghan. The bomb hasn't exploded yet, but one day it just may. Well, this was an interesting update. Apparently, some of Harry's private information will remain sealed because some of the data on one document is too sensitive to be publicized. That tells me that he was either arrested or indicted or something bad happened, and it would totally destroy him if it was released. Makes you wonder. All right, you guys, so keep those comments coming because you know I'm reading them. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell for all notifications. Then go down into the description box where you'll find the links to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my Amazon wishlist, a link for my father's book, as well as a physical address. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.